They were talking about autism, just explaining what it is, and I just thought, they're talking about me. I sort of distinctly remember feeling a bit different. Just like little things. And quite often it's not enough really to go, oh, okay, there's something like really different about this person. Quirky, they might have called me. Coffee shops, I think a lot of people imagine them as places where you can go sit down, have a cuppa, catch up with your friends, have some conversation. For a lot of autistic people, it's a bit of a sensory nightmare. There's a way that a typical brain works, which filters out a lot of the background noise so that what you're focusing on is like at the forefront. We are quite often absent of that. So we hear everything all the time. The espresso machine, they're like just autistic scream machines. After leaving uni, I started working in disabilities, and I got a job at this place in Cardiff, which is a residential school for children and young people who are autistic. They were talking about autism, just explaining what it is, explaining what like the challenges are and how to support people who are autistic, and I just thought, they're talking about me. And I remember holding back tears because there was a little part of me that was just like, it explains so much. The last place I worked, where I worked for someone else, that was around the time I was diagnosed, when I was 34. That led to this unusual pattern of them sending me to occupational health to see an outside doctor. I started having a meltdown. You could physically see it. So I would have started like shaking and sweating. My voice would have changed. I was in so much distress. I ended up with a head injury. Somebody from outside had to ring the desk to tell my boss, you need to go and check on your staff. And I thought that I'd never... After I left that day, I went home and I thought that I'd never work again. Just, I guess, took some time to reflect. And then I remember posting on Facebook, I've worked out why being in a job is so hard. It's because all the other colleagues aren't autistic. And it was a little rant. And then somebody then said, now that sounds like a business plan. And it got me thinking. That's where the dream started. I came up with the idea of starting a cafe. And I wanted to see a space where we didn't have to pretend or try to fit in with society, where we could just be ourselves. When people come into this cafe and they suddenly realize that other cafes don't feel this way. They don't feel this calm. And we've done whatever we can to remove as many of the different layers of unnecessary sound as possible. We don't sort cutlery in here. We've got a really quiet coffee machine to just help make people feel more comfortable. It's a bit like trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to say, well, what doesn't work about traditional workplaces, and let's try something else. So I wanted to give employment opportunities to neurodivergent people where they're not judged on what they're struggling with, but instead where we explore their strengths. I don't want other people, especially autistic people, to have to get to rock bottom in order to be able to get a step on the ladder.